I'm not into the black thing. I ain't, matter of fact, maybe one little time I was into the black thing when I moved to California and I became angry and listened to Louis Farrakhan and all them, and I had a fro. I had a big old fro. I was super bad. Invest in a little piece of land. When I become president, only the people who own land will be able to vote. That's the way it was in the good old days. We need to go back to the good old days. Those women who are having abortion, they're being influenced. And by the way, it doesn't belong to the woman. It belongs to the man. It's his daughter, his son, or his daughter. She's just carrying it in the oven until it's warm enough to come out, until it's baked. Donald Trump wears a wig.
Oh, yeah, he's got that weird, crazy toupee.
How do you know it's a toupee?
Oh, there's a whole lot of evidence.
What's the evidence?
Well, you can go on YouTube and
what's the evidence that it's a toupee? It
There's-
sounds like
there's,
you have already done that. And
I
so
have.
what is your proof that it's a toupee?
because there's several videos when the wind blows, like the whole back of his head flies up.
Because he has thin hair, white hair, and it's thin. But where's your proof that?
He's
Where's your?
actually bald.
So you're telling another lie, Kevin. See, you go from lie to lie.
No.
And you're judging
no.
the president while being a liar yourself. That should be important to you.
I'm saying this is a whole conversation about Trump being a real man.
No,
A real
but
man
you telling
doesn't
lies.
need
Now you done
to
went
have a
all the
toupee.
way from to the toupee.
And he
But what does that have? I wasn't in poverty when I grew up under the Jim Crow laws. I was not in poverty. We ate from the land. It was good, fresh food. We went to the market whenever we wanted to. We went to school. We walked up and down the road. We dated. We had fun. We played basketball. I ran track. I wasn't in poverty. I never went a day hungry. And I didn't feel like the white man was holding me back. That's another lie that you've been told. And because you believe it, it's holding you down in life.
I mean, then Harriet Tubman said that she would have saved more people if they only knew they were slaves.
Where's
Right.
Where's Harriet Tubman now?
She's dead.
I rest my case.
But, sir, I mean, white people, they have preconceived notions of black people. They think that we're all lazy, we're all shiftless,
How do you know they think that?
because this is what the society has promoted in the media.
How do you
And
know
every-
that's what the white people think, though?
The white people, it's what most non-black, it's what a lot of
How do
non-black
you
people
know
think.
that's what white people think?
It's what a lot of non-black people think. Let me see that.
How do you know that?
Because we've been conditioned into it. in
How
this
do you
country.
know that?
How do I know that?
Yes.
Just from how I react with other people.
How you react, right?
Yes.
Why are you reacting with other people?
If I just need a few words with them to see how they really think of me.
So when you're around non-black people, you test them by saying a few words to see how they think of you.
No. I say it's just from my conversation with them, I can see how they view me.
Like what, for example? Give me an example. You having a conversation, and you can see how non-black people view you.
I'm a tall guy, so they'll just start talking to me about basketball when I'm an educated guy.
How is that racist,
but-
though? A lot of black tall guys play basketball. That's
Of
not
course,
racist.
I agree.
How is that
agree.
racist then?
But it is
When I
racist
see
that you
white
think that-
people, I'm like, do you play tennis?
Yeah,
It's all in the mind. It really is in the mind.
yeah. I suppose if you
The
didn't,
mind is a terrible thing to say.
Jesse, first I just want to say how fitting it is that you're giving away meals to Cracker Barrel restaurant.
I know. I didn't have any for Uncle Sambo's place. And so have you been celebrating Passover all this week?
Yes.
And what have you been passing over? I used to live in a roach-infested motel when I left my aunt's house, and so I get in my own places and stuff like that. But I had the right attitude about living in a roach hotel. I believe I ate some roaches. There were so many roaches.
So how is your office able to stay open during this time?
Because we are essential office.
So what makes your office essential exactly?
We have to do the radio show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got to get the word out.
I made some stupid decisions. For instance, I'm 29,
Yeah.
and I dated a lady who's 55. And,
What?
You know,
That's grandma.
Exactly. And
So what are you cooking for breakfast?
Sausages and eggs.
Oh, I can smell it now. And then some hot biscuits. And we're served honey.
I had to cut out the biscuits because I got too fat, though.
Oh, that's right.
Jesse, in September of last year, I was 210 pounds. At the end of February, I was 260.
Wow.
I'm telling you, dog.
As fat as a pig.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I remember once I got really fat, and I went home to Alabama, and the reporter down there wanted to do an interview, and the headline says, hometown boy make it big. And so the next morning when I saw the paper, I was so fat, and I'm like, yeah, they're right. The hometown boy made it big, all right. Let me go to Earl. Earl, out of Michigan. Earl, get it off your chest. You're on the air.
Yes, Jesse.
Hey, Earl.
Bonus Diaz.
You want to see me?
I said Bonus Diaz. Good morning.
Oh, bonus deer.
But
that ain't Spanish, Earl.
He said bonus deer. What did he say?
I think you meant to say Buenos Dias.
Oh.
And I don't know what that was.
Oh, Earl must stayed up all night to get a Mexican.
We know what you meant, Earl.
Go ahead, Earl.
yeah, I noticed, Jesse, you normally have to demonize people who criticize you.
So
but this is your,
Earl.
and like I say, as Roland Martin says, game recognized game.
Where's Roland
because
Martin
that's
now?
Your game.
Roland Martin is a
your
beta
game
male,
is-
Earl.
Huh?
Roland Martin is a beta male.
I said he'll debate people that have something that can debate.
I debated that
Well,
coward
like,
before, Earl.
like,
I debated that coward before.
Like Lee Elders,
Earl.
D'Souza.
Earl.
Yeah.
Hey, Earl. I have debated that cowardly man before.
No, you debated him on the Hannity show years ago.
I debated him
But
on
not
CNN as
one-on-one.
well. Hey, I debated him on CNN as well. He wanted to fight me. He's a beta male.
Well, like I say, he wants to debate people like Laura Ingram.
No, I've debated him, Earl. He wanted to
people-
fight.
Huh?
I've debated. Are you hard of hearing?
Yeah, your sound is low. I told you Nick needs to turn up the volume because you're barely coming through.
Amazing. I have debated that Roland Martin guy several times, at least on CNN, and I don't remember where else. And he wanted to fight. He's angry like a woman. He is married to a woman who says she's a preacher. That's not a good example. You should find somebody else for an example.
The thing about it, Jesse, is you're not in his class.
I don't want to be in his class. He's a beta class man.
Anger is an emotion. Judgment is an action. They have no relationship to each other.
Earl, that sounds dumb.
Did you know that?
That sounds dumb.
Did you know that?
That sounds dumb.
No, you're dumb because you had no education, Mr. 1A maker in your whole life. Don't call somebody else dumb. But the thing about it is,
I made an A in
you can
the
be-
12th grade, Earl. Don't mark it.
Yeah.
And it was on a true and false test. And luckily I checked off the right boxes, and I made an A.
You made 1 A in your whole life, and
Right.
you're proud of it.
Right.
What a retarded little kid. But
wouldn't you be proud of making an A at least once?
I don't want to get into that nonsense.
Why
You're
not?
going off the subject. You asked me how judgment and anger are the same or not the same. The thing is, you can pass judgment and not be angry.
You have
you
no.
can pass
Okay.
judgment in
Go
anger.
ahead and live that way.
But they're-
Suffer and die.
But they're not the same
Suffer
thing.
and die. It's fine.
I know that's what you say when you don't have an answer, Jesse.
Yeah, that's my answer. I don't want to
No, you
convince
don't.
you. Hey, Earl. Earl.
Why is judgment and
I
anger
don't-
the same thing, Jesse?
I don't want to convince you.
No, don't convince me. Tell me.
I don't.
It's a simple explanation.
No, ask
What
T.
does judgment have to
Ask
do
T.
with anger?
Ask T and ask Jason.
If you're on the highway,
Ask T and ask Jason from Buffalo, New York. T is in Alabama. And y'all just hang out and hold on to your little anger like little beta males and see how far that gets you. All right? I got to go, Earl. Thank you for your call.
So why do you think the virus is not affecting blacks as much as it is whites?
The virus can't handle that nappy hair.
My name is Ruby. Politically, I'm progressive. I was a Bernie supporter, and I care about ending the war on drugs. I'm pro-sex work. I'm feminist and vegan, the whole shebang.
Now, Jesse Lee Peterson, you're here as well, sir. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, too, if you'd like.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You say you are progressive, you're feminist, you're all everything that's wrong. How did that happen to you? Did you go to college?
No, I actually recently started going to college.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I noticed that in society, it's okay for women to criticize men, whether it's true or not. They can lie on men, they can put them in jail, they can make up lies, they can kill their babies in the womb. And we all know abortion is worse than slavery, but they can kill the babies in the womb. They can take the man money. They can make him take care of the children. But when you mention what women do, all of a sudden you hate women. But they don't say that about the women who say those and do those awful things to men.
I mean, it's true. There are some bad women who do bad things, and there are certain circumstances in which men are disadvantaged in society.
Straight white conservative men are really hated.
I don't think that's true. I
Oh,
know.
no, it's true.
You think all straight men are hated?
Without
you
a
think they're
doubt.
like a, like a
Because why do you think
marginalized
they're
group?
turning them into drag queens, and they're cutting off the men's body part and putting on female body parts, and they hate masculinity, especially the feminist progressives. They hate masculinity, and so they're trying to degrade that and do whatever they can to degrade it because of the love and the power that come through the man, and he is the most hated.
I
Are you smoking a
very much
joint?
disagree. Yeah, I'm
You
fucked up
smoking
right
pot?
now. No, this is just nicotine. I'm trying to maintain my composure.
Oh, no, you're doing well.
I don't even know how to respond to that, Jesse.
You should say thanks.
It's just so interesting. It seems like we live in like very different realities.
You have to forgive so you don't be attracted to a weak man like your father. Otherwise, you're gonna.
I only date beta bitches. That's
Oh.
my general type. So
when you say beta bitches, what do you mean?
well, I'm actually bisexual, so I'm not. I've dated all different types of people, but generally I'm not attracted to super duper masculine guys.
Yeah. Because your father was weak. You hate masculinity. But if you forgive your father for being weak, you can overcome that. And I have to tell you, the hardest thing in the world to do for adults to do is to go and forgive their mothers. It's like facing Hitler in bloomers.
Jesse, this is insane. I don't know even how to let's you think blacks were better off like before civil rights and stuff?
Absolutely, because they were independent thinking people. But now they're morally bankrupt. They don't think for themselves. They're controlled by the government. They're controlled by the liberals, both black and white. And they're having babies out of wedlock like 90 going north. So they don't love what's right. They don't have that moral standard that they had prior to the civil rights movement. And even when Jim Crow law existed, blacks knew that it was Democrats who did it, who had that law, established that law. So most blacks were conservative Republicans, and they were doing fine because they were independent, but they gave that up. The word racism had never been heard of until the so-called civil rights leader came along, and they wanted to control the blacks.
Well, what else would you call it when black people don't have the same rights as white people because of the fact that they're black? That seems a little racist.
First of all, it's not that they don't have the same rights because they're black. They have more than what white people have now. White people are bent over
Well, I'm
backwards.
talking about in Jim Crow where, I feel it was a little more clear cut in the law.
What rights we did not have under Jim Crow?
You couldn't eat at certain places. There's segregation.
Anywhere I wanted, I and my family ate anywhere I wanted to eat.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's true that there were certain aspects of the black community, like with more with the family unit was more solid for a time, but I feel like that could be more properly explained by the war on drugs, which the Civil Rights
No,
Act is.
if they had good parents at home, they wouldn't be on drugs. When I was growing up, I talked about that today on my show. I didn't know the drug addicts. I knew one alcoholic, and he was a functioning alcoholic. He would just get drunk in the evening. I now realize after work, right? I realized he couldn't deal with his wife. That's why he got drunk when he got home. But I didn't know the drug addicts and alcoholics. And I lived in Indiana and Alabama time, off and on. And none of my friends, no one in my school, or I had heard of any. Today, everybody and their mama on drugs and mentally retarded. And it's because they have conflict. They're not coming from perfect homes. And they'll listen to the so-called experts who have no idea what they're talking about. They're just using the people to make money from them.
Between 1971 to the current day, the prison population increased 500%. And that was a major reason why black men were incarcerated
because
was during that time period. And then that creates the trend of black fatherlessness, which is then if you're raised without a father, you're more likely to not be a.
You need to put that woman book away from the underground. What's her name? What's the underground lady name? If they were not doing the crime, they wouldn't do the time. I've never been in jail. I've gone there and done, help you guys, giving this, holding meetings and things like that, but never gone to jail. Growing up, I didn't know anyone who went to jail. I know folks in my family member now who go to jail because they're from broken homes, some of them. But I didn't know people who went to jail. They were black. They had the Jim Crow law. But because they had morals, they had family, they respected their parents, they were not going to jail.
So you don't see any kind of like relation to the black fatherhood issue because of so many being incarcerated during the drug war? What is that? That's
the coon. They call me a coon. You know what a coon is? I have no hatred in my heart for anyone. And I just want people to wake up. I don't need them to follow me. They need to follow what's inside, follow their heart, the kingdom of heaven within. And all I want to see them is wake up, because if they don't wake up, it's going to get worse for them rather than getting better. It's the character, it's the person, it's the heart.
There's a lot of logical women and there's a lot of illogical men.
Name one.
Are you kidding? Wait, name one logical woman?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, that's name one. Myself. I feel like I'm being fairly logical.
You're nice, but logic, I wouldn't use logic for you.
You think I'm illogical? Well, the thing is, what you act like we're two different species, like we're so different. Like it's
Men and women are different.
but you act
That's
like
why.
it's
That's why
so
she has to
different. Like that's just not out of all the there's a lot of animal species that the male and the female are very different. We're not one of them. Men are a little stronger, they're a little bigger, and there's like we have the same IQ, same G factor, and we excel at
as
different
who?
things.
Where you get that from?
From every study that's ever been done in it, it's
You
always
can't
been
even name. You can't name one logical woman on Earth.
one
Uh
logical
huh.
woman on Earth. Because I have to think carefully. I wouldn't even know where to start. I think my
I
mom's a
know.
logical
That's my
person.
point.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Katie Reed
One of
says,
my employees named Dallon, he the one set up this interview. He
Yeah.
loved cats. I mean, he'd rather have cats than to have babies.
Really?
Wow.
Do you think that's a beta male quality if someone likes cats?
Yeah.
Savage. Savage. Savage.
You might be my cousin or something.
You never know.
Fox News is not 100% pro-Trump. I wish they were.
Why do you wish they were?
Because the man is amazing at what he's doing.